Hey guys, this is IntroducingEmy, and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to me by Mimpanda, or Mimpanda. Their contact information is in the description below, and we're going to get started. This should be pretty quick. Yes, this is the original way it's facing. I tend to, before I start, I flip it back and forth a few times and kind of look at it from different angles, sort of plan my attack here. I've just put a light bluish green filter over it. I am using the eye line, the nose, and somewhat the mouth, though it's just a little off, as my center line. And that's going to help me align my chin. The chin's kind of like out here right now. I'm not really sure how to parse that out, so we're just gonna try to move the chin over somewhat. We're going to kind of sculpt the face. We're trying to follow to make sure that it's still like the same pointed chin here. Oops, I got a soft eraser. I was doing some soft erasing before. Okay. Let's do the brows. So there's nothing to really give us a lot of reference to where the skull is. Well, we know it can't be beyond that, wherever these spikes dent in, because that's it. That's like where the head's gonna be. So that gives us kind of an okay idea. I'm gonna just rotate the canvas a little bit here. 100%. Actually gonna make this a little lighter, just somewhat distracted by the bottom image. Okay. So I'm kind of contouring out the back of the head. I recommend not necessarily doing it like this, but I will show you what I do. So I try not to just go like and like do the back of the head and like do the outside of the face. You don't really want to do that. You want to like build up and definitely double check your placement. Even if you do just decide to do an outside contour like that, you want to like go in and check. So here's how I check. This, I do like a little open V, and this is the back of the eye socket. So let me just do like a little side profile here. Okay, so this is a really crude drawing of a skull, but the side of the skull is largely flat. So these sides are flat. Flat. And they've got a little bit of a curvature out, but it's not anything excessive, especially not for what we're doing. And then you have the eye socket, like this, and then the contour of the cheek. There's your jaw. Then the eyeball sits inside. And then you've got your brows up here. Dent of the nose, where the brow curves in. So these are the kind of shapes that we want to make sure that we're following. So if I carry this around, this should line up. So that's what I mean. You want to draw through and double check your landmarks on the skull. And then this is more of like an open mouth. I did the jaw a little distended there, but for this guy you'd want to close it up a little more. So let's see here. There's sort of like a little trapezoidal shape I use. So this like little triangle shape with the top cut off, or the bottom cut off I should say, and that forms the trapezoid of the nose. Bridge of the nose. Oh, I was trying to think what the word was there. Then you come down. And depending on how much you... So if I take this and I kind of like go like that, you see how like now the jaw is going further and further out? If you really extend it, you're going to start getting like a furry. You're going to start getting like an anthropomorphic kind of creature. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea of like how far. So by moving that nose out like that, what I was doing, I'll show you on the little guy up here, you kind of, let's see, how would I do this? Did this on an angle. I'm doing no favors to myself. Let's do it like this. Okay. So you do it like that. So you start to see that starts to extend way out when you pull that nose way out. Okay, so that's a little bit exaggerated, but yeah. So let's keep that like that just for now. Now his mouth falls pretty far down. That's kind of, this would be a little far down for me. Maybe not. Hold on, yeah, it's not too bad. That's more of like a style thing. Alright. Now his eyes are definitely a lot bigger than I would do. Let's try to get the eyeballs back in the sockets a little more here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this perfect for Jens. Perfect. No. So let's do like this. Like this. Like this, like this, like this. Just kind of moving things around. Try to get it as close to on the mark as we can. So I'm liking that better. Let me see if I can try to mimic it on the other side. Let me not fill in this eyebrow just so you can see the top of the... I have to remind myself this is not like a drawing I'm going to be like inking, or... Because if I was going to ink this drawing, I would just fill that in because I need to know where like my blacks will be and things like that. So yeah, no harm, no foul like that. Flip it, work on it this way a little more, make sure things aren't too, yeah, that's a little too stretched out. So I've probably said this phrase like 100,000 times while working on this kind of stuff, but if there was a specific style you had in mind when you were drawing this, and I'm not doing it in that style, I apologize. I realize there's like a lot of shows and whatnot out there now, and I am not watching them, and I don't know what's going on. I'm just up here in my house. So if this is supposed to look a particular way, and I've gone way off model, I apologize, but hopefully my tips will help you figure it out in your own way. So top of the ear is usually about the brow line, bottom of the ear is usually about the nose line. And I'm going to get rid of this little guy for now because we don't need him anymore. And let's connect the neck. The neck, you know what? We did need that. Let's go back. So the neck sits about halfway. I'm not sure what you call this exactly. It's the base of the skull, but I'm sure this has like a particular name. But I usually put my neck about the base, halfway on the base of the skull, and then about halfway bottom of the jaw. Maybe a little thinner, a little thicker, depending on the character, whatever. And then there is a tendon that runs from the... It's not just a tendon, I think it's a bundle of muscles, and it runs from the base of the skull around the neck. And then your shoulders. So we have to use our X-ray vision here and kind of find that a little differently. So we're kind of looking through the head, looking at the top of the neck. And his neck is actually, he's got his chin tucked down, so the angle's going to be a little different. It's going to be like more like this. And it's okay if you do your neck too long. We're just looking at really basic shapes like cylinders and whatnot. In fact, sometimes when I'm doing artwork, I'll just leave the head off and I'll just, you know, do the body shapes, like whatever I'm like working on, and I'll just do the poses first and then I'll like plunk the head on later. So it's really important to just, you know, get those basic shapes in and then later just put the head on later. No big deal. Okay. So this curve here that you've got is sort of the, let me think how to say this. This is like the curve from the neck down onto the shoulder. So I've shown this in other videos, but if you look at it from the front, here's your clavicle, your shoulders are out here, the neck, the base of the neck, Adam's apple in here, and then there's sort of this triangular shaped area of muscle and skin, and everybody has it, and it is more prominent on people who have like really built necks, and people who don't, it's like sunken in more. Like some guys, like, it's huge. It's huge. So that's that. So we're gonna kind of make that shape. Clavicle. Now, again, and I've said this before, but you wouldn't necessarily ink all these lines. You might only do like these outer lines, depending on how simplified you're going for. But again, I highly recommend drawing through your shapes, doing your landmarks. I don't know if this is what boy or girl character is getting an Adam's apple, don't care. Just so everybody knows. Okay, now we can get rid of all this stuff because I'm going to go over the hair real quick, and that should do it for this Redline Tuesday. Whoop. Oh, and just because. So any symbols that are on the head or whatever, I usually just do like a curved box or square on the head, like you're putting a sticker on there, like a stamp, just so you can see where it's going to be. And let me fade out some of these lines a little bit. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. Just fade out some of these lines. Okay, and then I would just follow these curves. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be like directly below that, like a triangle shape, like here, here, and then here. That's how I would do it. This is how Emmy would do it. So, yeah, just, and then of course don't ink those. Those are just like sketch lines to help you find what you're doing. Okay. And then let's do hair. And that'll be it for this one. Might also like maybe curve that in a little more. It's up to you. I've really kind of changed the shape of his face. I've given him something of like a cheek. This is how I would draw the character. Now, I have characters that have much more like smooth features, so that might be more of what you want to go for, where there's not this like prominent cheek. I'm kind of over exaggerating a little bit just to sort of show how you would like build it up. Here, let me go more smooth. Just know that the more that the character's expression is pinched, so when you furrow the brows, you know, like you're gonna get more of this shape. Same thing with if they're smiling. This is going to get even more pinched because you're pushing that all up. So this shape is going to be more prominent here necessarily than this shape because he's not smiling. Just, it's a little more complicated than that, but rule of thumb, rule of thumb. Wow, wrong tool. So let's lighten this. All this, there's so much noise in here. I apologize for the, not the noise of my microphone, I mean, but like the noise of the art. So many lines. Yeah, I think that's a little more. Okay. And now we'll do the hair. I'm gonna do it in blue. So there are no, there's not a lot of lines on the interior of the hair, so I'm just gonna do the best I can. Let's say right in the middle of the head. Normally hair radiates from the back of the head, but for funsies, let's have it radiate out from like kind of the high forehead area. Again, I will say it over and over, you don't ink all these lines. You may only want to ink the outer contour, but these lines will help you sort of figure out the shape of this hair, especially if it was like a carved toy or figure. You can kind of that's an interesting shape. So is this like supposed to be brushed up like that? I mean, I can do that. I can do whatever you tell me to. Not sure like what these upward curved lines are. That's okay. I'll make it work. So let's do. Here we go. Nice and curved. And so then he's got this like piece of hair. I don't recommend, I see this, it's a little hard to see just because this is kind of dark, but there's sort of like these like the whole way down this like ponytail sort of, I don't know what you call that, extended sideburn. I don't recommend doing that just because hair wouldn't follow, like if it was like a flyaway, it would just like be off in the regular hair. The only hair that would follow this cord would be long enough to be bound in these beads. So I would recommend, sorry, it's a little hard for me to see that. All the, yeah, let's turn the head off for now, though we don't need it. That line escaped. Anyway, so I would recommend how much you want the hair to like come out from there. I'm doing like Belle Dandy hair over here. It's from anime. Oh my goddess. But that's kind of up to you. Just make sure that it's not straight. It has to follow the curve of the head. Bead 1. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Just draw a straight line through it. I hold shift, by the way, to draw straight lines real quick. Straight, horizontal. However, they follow, because I have my canvas tilted, they follow the current cardinal directions that I'm on, not the original. So, and then, but down here, if you want to have like hair kind of jutting out and like flying away, that's fine. It's just that when it's bound up, then it doesn't, yeah, like if you, that would be okay. I think if you start getting really excessive, you start getting kind of like a pine tree look, and it doesn't look like hair anymore so much. Not to mention, it's just less to draw. It's just less spikes to draw. So this is like, I guess where the hair starts to get long, go behind the character. So I do these kind of like as curves and just build off of them, no biggie. Something like that. Again, if you want like more hair in here, that's fine. I kind of kept it modest, and also to kind of match this one. But I might have like a little bit more of like a bundle right there just to make it have some weight, or like it's really thick, you know. Otherwise it starts to look a little thin and it wouldn't have all this much more coming out of it. That's just, yeah, that's like a little nitpicky thing. It's no big deal. I want to erase that, but I'm worried it's like, yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. Erase, no biggie at all. So, and then a little thing here for the neck of the character, with hair. If it's like completely behind the neck, then, you know, ignore. But if for funsies, if you want to like have a few little strands just going over the shoulder there, little funsies, ain't that fun? Something like that. I think that's nice. I like that. I like it. Let's flip it real quick. His chest ended up a little flatter, like kind of caved in, so just a little trick here. I'm just going to select his clavicle, chest, and a little bit of that shoulder there, and I'm going to hold down Control after it's, well, first I'm going to hit Control T so it brings up my transform tool around the area I've selected. Then I'm going to hold down Control, and when my cursor turns white, I'm not sure if this will record. It's a little funny about recording my cursors and the way they look. Well, let's make sure we don't have the hair selected. Let's make sure that we have the chest selected. I'm just going to kind of push it out a little more, just so that it was kind of like going in. I want it to be like kind of angled out a little more. And we'll just fade all this a little bit. Again, kind of noisy, but try to leave as much information there as I can. Get rid of some of this up here. Anything that's like supposed to be hidden by the hair, I guess. I don't want to completely get rid of it. But yeah, I think that's good to go. I mean, you can get in here and kind of shape these brows to look a little neater. I kind of just slop them on, but you know. Yeah. Yeah, I am terrible, ain't I? No. Yeah, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's a decent ballpark. Let's fade where the hair overlaps, just because we're ladies. We want to be neat and tidy. Yeah, I like it. Cool. Cool beansies. So I hope that's helped out a little bit. Let's do a little compare and contrast. So I think we've kind of brought it back a little bit. I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me, other than the eyes, was just sort of making sure that that chin is pulled like down and under, kind of like back, and that adds that structure to the face. I hope you can kind of see it like click in a little bit there. And I think the thing that really helped me was that the eye line and the bridge of the nose was pretty solid. So that was a really big help. So like this little section right here. Yeah, definitely a big help. Cool. Alright, so I just want to thank Mimpanda. Please check the description for links to their art stuff, their art blogs and DeviantArt and whatnot. And if you want your stuff to be redlined, send it to emmy.bittner at IntroducingEmy.com with the submission title Redline Tuesday in the subject. And that information can also be found down below. Alright, so I will see you guys next time. Bye!